So, hi everybody, and welcome back to the Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series, an overview for beginners, and this is video 25. Uh, we stopped with animations, I think, because I want to tell you about animations, but I couldn't because I told you something about folder structures. All right. Anyway, but in this video we really talk a little bit about animations. And I started in the last video that normally animations are created in third-party software and then imported to Unreal Engine, but this one has also changed a little bit because Unreal Engine developed its animation sections a little bit. Now it has different kind of tools, and this one we will watch. But before we watch, we will go to our third-person character. I have opened this up. If you haven't opened this up, I show you again here on world settings or on your content drawer. You type in third person character, it jumps in, and then you can open this one up. Don't forget to delete this one, or you are sometimes irritated why you can't see anything here. Okay, we are in our character. We go to the mesh, and in mesh we go now to the animation section, and here we are only interested in two things. This one, animation mode, which we have here to select use animation blueprint, which is right now selected. This one means it has here a coding, using a coding blueprint, but we can use also, which is very interesting, this use animation asset. This one will be interesting. Well, let me tell you what's the difference is. This blueprint can use different animations and combine that with blendings and so on. On the other side, this animation asset, when I click on this one, then you can just select for testing purpose most time one, not really for testing purposes, can be used really too for, then you can select one animation directly. Okay, but in general, don't make that at start. Keep this animation blueprint and the anim class, which is preset here. Oh, that looks awful. It's set to this third person anim BPC. This is an animation blueprint class, which you will create later. Oops, sorry. So, and we are going now to design again, browse to asset. This is one of the nice features which I like in Unreal Engine. Where you want to go, just click on something like that, and now we browse to asset. Browse to asset means we find the section what exactly this one is, and here it's the first one. So let me go here. We are still here. I want to just change here the view. So we have, let me show you this here on the left side in the folder structure. We are in Mannequin, in animations, and these are the animations which this character has. The first one is that what we see, the anim class. The second one, use animation blueprint, is not here because this one is not a created thing. It is just a mode, right? It says here mode, animation mode. So careful that, not careful, just keep in mind this. And then let's go on. This different kind you can create. There's two things here you can create actually, and this one I'm not sure if you can create this record. I know you can record this, but later. First of all, before we create, we open one of this one up. Let me show you what I already showed you one more time. Right click here, then or click on this add one. It's the same. Right click and this pop-up menu, and on top we have our animation sections, and here you see a lot of things. Most things are not very important. and later you will probably use 3 of them or 4, depends on the thing. The one thing could be this one, for example, is animation blueprint. So we have to find this animation blueprint, this one. So they created this one here. This one is blend space. So they used a blend space. One of them, they are both. This is only other type. And that's it. You see the default mannequin use only this two, but it has also this created animations. And this one you can't see here actually, I think. Let me see this one. Animation sequence, yes, because it is recorded anywhere else, not here. Okay. Or you make it in another way, let's call it this way. Okay. But here, when you learn animation tutorial, you will see that you will need the other things too, but only one time or one time to do things and set it up, and that's it. All right, so the next thing is, let me show you. Let's click this third person character away. Let's dock this because we are working here all the time. Let's save all this one, so all this asterisk goes away. And let me show you some animation folders now. I click, not this one at start. Oh, let's click it. Let's go from start. This one is the third person animation blueprint. And you see we have here something like a programming section, main stat section, locomotion section, a walk a run state section. That looks very complicated, but believe me, it's very straightforward. You start normally here. Anywhere when you learn animation, you start from one point and then you click. For example, here you have your entry, then you go here, and that's it. And then let me go here back where we got here, and then you go here and you set this up, and then you go again back, and that's it with this one. Then you go to the event graph. Event graph means all coding stuff, what you want to achieve. This one looks again more cleaner than our material code, and very easy. It's straightforward. Don't worry if you understand nothing. It's very easy because you see only here 1, 2, 3 nodes more or less, and all other are just additional informations, not very important. And then you go to the main stats, which means here you have your entry point, your land point, and this one is all interesting later in creating an animation blueprint class, which our character is using. For example, when let me see if I can demonstrate this here. Dang, can I demonstrate this here? I'm not sure. Let me see. Nope, here's not the way. Let me click this one more time. No, it's not. There was a way to demonstrate this. I don't know it. That's not very important right now. The important thing is later you will create this animation blueprint with a tutorial probably, and then you set this step by step. It is straightforward, means just you start from one point and then go jump to the next point, jump to the next point, jump to the next point, and you are finished. And when you say what is that, it means you jump here and then you go to the next point, and these are just connections and so on. All right, I think that's enough. Let me show you here on top a little bit. This one, this is not so important. This is again just for later. If you create it, just skip this at start. This one will be important really when you create a blend space, I mean animation blueprint. Now we go to the blend space. We click this away. Let's go to the blend space, double click on it. Let's dog it on top. And now we have here a blend space and a skeleton tree. We have here two things, very important. And we have here something which you can see here on bottom, which indicates this one is in play mode. You can stop it here on the right, for example here. And then when you click on it and move it here around, you can see the character is idling. Depends on the situation. So more important, let's go here on the left side. There are details. At start, you can really forget all again. They are just stats. It will be pointed out if you need them. More important is, let me show the skeleton tree. I will talk let's talk now. It's not very important at start, but what is the skeleton tree? The skeleton tree is actually this character, how it is modeled. So for example, created from a third person software, for example, a modeling software. I mentioned already I use Blender because it's free. You can use that and learn, but this takes a little bit time, and I'm not a modeler too. I just learned it to make very basic shapes. For example, I could not make this character here in Blender because this one, it's a very basic prototype, but this one is actually a very high quality character. But everybody use it, that's why he is very underrated. But in real, this character is really high quality. Careful about that. And yeah, this socket tree, what you see here on the right and the left side, are all the separate bones, how they were created in the models. This socket, the skeleton, which and the things what I click right now are the bones. And when you are modeling in a modeling section, then there is the character model and all the bones are laid out here. And yeah, we dive not in modeling now because this is another thing what you can actually, you are not modeling in Unreal Engine. I think you're still modeling in a third person software. In my case, I will make anytime. I think I can try to model something in Blender and show that there, and then we import it here to Unreal Engine and then try to use it. But the skeleton which you see here is big. What I'm going to model, for example, in Blender, because I make a very basic demonstration, will have probably only 4 bones. 1, 2, 3, 4 bones, and that's it. And you can see with this comparison how complex this skeleton already is. Yeah. Okay, that's enough for this one. Let's go on with animations. Very important thing here on the right side is not this one, what you see here on top. This is just a details panel. And this one also not. This is just previous scene, and so animations. Can most time forget this again later. Only when they point it out, or when you have to read it. When you go at once means all time, you read it one time through, check all time the important things and so on. But the more important is this asset browser here down, because what you see here on top, the green ones are actually the animations. I double click on them and I click on play here one more time. I get rid of this bone selection, which I still have. And you can see now this one is called third person idle. This is the position where it stays. And let's go to my walk. This is the walk animation, and these are the animations which we have, and you can see they are already recorded, imported, and will be just used here. And on top we see something different, this first one, and this was the starting screen. It's called first person idle 2D anything, but in real, this one, what is that? Normally it's a blend space. Because this one is our real blend space normally. I'm a little bit confused, perhaps I'm wrong, sorry for that, but because I call it a blend space, you will see why I call it a blend space, because this one is using the middle part here, and the middle part has 3 keys. The first key is here on the 0. You can't see it perhaps. You can see it, but there is something else here. I will show you what this is soon. Then we have here a second key, and here a third key. And with this key they are connected connected animations. And let me show. I can click now here in real. There is not this one, that was the wrong one, I think. There, have I clicked it again wrong? Oh, how the hell I click this one? Normally there is I don't know why I can't click this. Perhaps I'm not in the right place. Can't demonstrate this now. No way. Okay, normally, let me is this really the thing what I have made? Blend space, yes it is. Why I can't select this? Normally you select here this point, this other point, not this white point. There is something, a green thing. I don't know how to select it right now. Ah, no, I selected anyhow. Okay, let's put this back. And here with control, I think. Yes, with control. And now when I move this one, you can see now I walk, and this is called blending. First we have idle. I move it to this point. Now I walk, and I move it, and more and more and more I blend to the running animation. That's why it's called blend space. For example, this is this programming here. Only as an info, I think that's enough. And later when you create, for example, this one, it's very easy to create. And all these options which you see here, you need probably one. And it looks all time so difficult, and in real it's only one setting you really need, and all other you keep on default. Of course, when you get more at once and professional, you will need to know all probably by the time, of course, to set it absolute perfect. But at start you need only 1 Q settings, and all other keep by default. Okay, that said, we go on a little bit. This was our animations which was recorded, and let me see what we have, what is interesting here. And here you can see the animations again which was recorded. When I click now on this one, it pops up the same screen, but this time it goes directly to the animation. It plays here in the middle the animation which was recorded, and so on. Here's jumps again, here still jumps again, and so on. And if you are wondering why I have here so many jumps, the jumping is a little bit more complicated in the engine than the other things. The reason is very simple, because let me show you that what I mean with that. Because it is considered state we call of animation state, and when we jump we have actually the start state, which is my idle. Then I have a jump state when I'm in the air, and then I have a fall state and when I land. That's why we have here different jump animations. So for example, it says here jump and jump loop. This is the air one, I think. This is the start. A second here. This one is the jump start. Jump loop. This is when when our character is in the air, and this one is the jump end when it lands on again, and so on. And then it transitions to the idle state. This one you will learn all when you make, for example, create an animation. The easy ones are this run animations, walk animations, and so on. Let me show you one more thing before I go on, and we can click here a little bit on top. This one we skip. Create assets. Oh, that's interesting. Later when you create, this is the place where you can create this animation blueprint, what I said. Animation composite, this is more complex things here. Montage, really nice things you can make later with montages. Well, what I mean with that is you can add their sound, animations, effects, and so on, all here in this one, and you make it one time and then you have it. It's cool. And so yeah, interesting is probably create animation, because I thought we can't create animation here, but here we can actually create animation. And then we have here a reference process. Let's click it. What is that? Okay, perhaps you can create here animations. That's interesting. Creates both assets. This is also interesting. And then so on. Select path to create animation. Okay. This one I don't make here because it's an overview. But let's see what we have here. Apply comparison. Oh no. Compression, we don't apply anything here. Export assets. Okay, this one is if you want export it, but normally I will talk about import and export again in a separate video, because that is also very important. That is also one very important section which we have to talk, I think. Make static mesh, not really, and edit in sequence. This one you learn all when you create animations and so, and going there. The more important thing is here, perhaps this 4 symbols. Let me see if it's true. What we have when I click here, this is the skeleton view, and this one, what you see right now, is important because this is just, oops, sorry. This is just later when you import, for example, this character skeleton, then it will pop up here and here again. This I showed you before. It will show all these sockets, bones, I mean. And this one is interesting because perhaps you want to change the position. Sometimes you do this. For example, we will talk also about animation retargeting. Retargeting means just a short info. We have an animation created, for example, in a from the web anywhere, and we import it here, and now we want that this animation is applied to this one, and then we have to change here the position of the bones. Most time what we are going to do is then, for example, let me show you that. Most time we bring this character to very famous called T-pose. Most time this one, this T-pose, most people know it already. Let me find the other arm too. Where are you? Okay, there it is. We have here the pelvis, and where is the other arm? We have here the upper arm. And where's the other upper arm? Oh, I am a little bit blind. Oh, oh yes, I'm really blind. Like hell. What's going on? Here? Yeah. So, and then you are putting this one, and this one is probably a very famous T-pose, and when we are going to retarget, you will do something like that. You save that, and the other animation skeleton must have the pose here too, and then we can just get his animations to our skeleton and use it very easy. This is very interesting later. Instead of creating your own animations, you can just get all the animations from the internet and use it. That's absolutely amazing. Let me continue and let me get rid of my T-pose here because I don't want it, and now I made it. Okay, that's also a very interesting shortcut. You probably know it, but I mention it again. To undo your things, for example, I accidentally, let me click here something. I did this one, or I did this one, and to find the to reset it, let's call it, you want to reset it. What I mean with that, bring it back to the point where it was. You can press Ctrl Z, And there we are, and here one more control set because I change it with 2 steps. And just keep in mind, control set is all time a very nice shortcut to reset your things what you have done. So the next thing is here we have here, oh, let me show you something here more. Did I forget? Yes, here on top we have, of course, anim notifies. This is later for creating a montage. Actually, this one, let's skip this here because this one, it means just when you have an animation, you can make a notification. That means when it comes to a certain point, that at this point you are, for example, activate a sound or something like that. But this kind of stuff you learn later when you watch animations. And here we have retard source. I talked about this T pose, and then you can hear skeleton retard source, and then you have to set here some settings for retargeting. You watch a retargeting video tutorial if you need that. And then import mesh, we don't need import. Sometimes you want import something. And that's it, I think. Let's click this away. And here on the right side, preview scene, this one is also not very important. Only if you need it. And it will point out most time by a tutorial. Asset, this was where we are, anim curve. Animation curve, this kind of stuff you learn later. So I think we can skip this now. This was our animation. Then we are still here. That was the second part we talked. That was the mannequin itself. So we was here at the skeleton. We talked about this. Then we talked now about the mannequin itself. The mannequin itself here, it says, you can see material setup. Actually, here is not much to talk because you can just read what you want change here. But with animations, I have no clue actually. But because I never used it in animations, this is the default what I used here most time. Of course, when you watch an animation tutorial, it will point it out. So don't worry if you understand nothing here at start. Then we go here to the next thing, which is for this one. What is this? Is our let's say preview about our animations. Here are the animations again. Let's go to this one. I think that one, yes, that was our animation blueprint. That was the logic, what was behind. I think this one is connected to the blend space. You saw it goes here, for loop, jump loop, and falling, and so, and then we have here some transitions. It's not showed here. Whatever, we can go rid of this. And yeah, then in the last, what we have here, oh, this one is physic asset. This will be interesting for physic animations. And again, we have this strange word physic. I already tried to explain you that with collisions, that a force is applied to the character or to the static mesh or to anything, and then it reacts to it. So all time when you hear physics or so, think about a force is applied. For example, I think I failed to show a static mesh. I tried to activate the physics and gravity, and the gravity is there, the force who should pull it down, but it didn't. So I don't know what I messed up. But in real, physics is for that, and for example, the character physics is most time, for example, the death animations. So how it should behave, for example, when, for example, you kill your character, how he should fall. Sometimes he fly away like a rocket, and that means you messed up. And if you make it right, then you have set this Physic Animations. Here you have the places for the Physic, and then of course settings and so on, and this one you do also on Physic Animations. But here one important note: when you learn animations, you will not learn all this at once. You learn probably at start just, for example, let me show you what I have clicked here. I have clicked here many things up. Let's click them away. At start, you will just do probably create a blend space, the BP and a blend space, and use animations. That's it. It's very basic, simple. You start very simple, so don't worry it sounds so complicated what I showed you here, but in real it will be very simple. So, and let me see what's important to talk about animations as well. There is much to talk actually, because there is one thing what I wanted to mention as well, and that is we can manipulate this animation to make animation, but this one I'm not going to talk here, I think, or this video will be too long. But I want to show you something else before I go to the next video, and this one, if I find it, let's see. Do I have to activate this? I'm not sure, because there is a so-called animation rig or so something anywhere. Let me see if I find something. So perhaps I don't have it here activated. I have to go perhaps in plugins, and then let's write here rig. Let's see. It's not animation rig, it is called control rig. Actually it is activated. Framework for animation drive by user controls. Then I don't know where to find it actually. Where are this? Where is this? Anyway, let me see if I find it for you fast. If not, actually it is just a way to create animations in Unreal Engine, and it is new. I think it was, or it was extended. It was already in Unreal Engine 4, I think, but sorry, not so very good. I don't know where it is now. I have never used it. I used it one time. Just to show what it can do, and so okay, let's skip this one, and in the next one I will talk a little bit again about animation. Perhaps I find this control rig there too, but what I really want to show you in the next one is how we can manipulate an already existing animation here and make from it our own animations in a very easy way. That's why I show you that, because on our overview we don't dive in very complicated things, and this one I can show you very fast in the next video, and it is again a practical example. I hope it is fast and it won't go wrong. So see you in the next video. Bye.